There's been so many NBA trade rumors as of late, and some of these are absolutely insane. Now, I'm going to be honest, not each and every trade rumor that I hear necessarily deserves to have a video made on it. So in the event that there are smaller trade rumors that you're really fiending for, I highly recommend you follow me on Instagram or on Twitter. It's at TheFlightMike for both, especially Instagram, because the higher my follower count gets, the less likely women are to curve my DMs. Jokes aside, we are also doing a NBA draft live stream this Thursday on my Laced Up Podcast's YouTube channel. We're going to start on the Flight Mike channel and eventually go over to the Laced Up Podcast channel, so I highly recommend you subscribe and turn on our notifications there, because I'm pretty sure we're going to hit the 40,000 mark this Thursday, at least I hope so. And once we do, we're going to be giving away a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X to a subscriber that has our notifications on. Now that we get all that out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Things with Ben Simmons have been really strange over the past month and a half after completely disappearing in one of the Philadelphia 76ers' greatest opportunities to win a championship around the core of Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. And to be honest, I wholeheartedly believe that. I really think that once the Brooklyn Nets got injured and the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Brooklyn Nets, the Philadelphia 76ers did have a very unique opportunity to potentially at least make that push to the NBA Finals and really convey to their fan base that, hey, this is a team that can win a championship at some point or another. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. Ben Simmons completely disappeared, his confidence was shaken, and as a result, a bunch of criticisms about his game took to the internet. Primarily, it mainly had to do with how he's been the exact same player since the moment he entered the NBA, which, with all due respect, isn't necessarily the worst thing, because this is a player that not only is a matchup nightmare in transition, not only has brilliant playmaking abilities in transition, but is also a savant on the defensive end, boasting a defensive box plus minus of a 2 throughout his entire career. His box plus minus in general is positive throughout his career, even his OBPM. The issue with Ben Simmons is his skill set just simply doesn't translate in the modern NBA. If this was 2008, or hell, if this was like in the early 2000s, I really believe Ben Simmons would absolutely be taking the NBA by storm, possibly becoming a multi-time MVP. But that's not the NBA we're in today. If you are a point guard or a small forward, hell, if you're a power forward, you're expected to be able to have a respectable jump shot from the perimeter. And as a result of this, you combine that with the fact that Daryl Morey is this analytics guru, mad scientist that really dislikes the mid-range jump shot because he believes they are the most inefficient jump shot known to man. And from the very beginning, ever since Daryl Morey took the Sixers general manager job, you kind of got the idea that at some point or another, Ben Simmons was just not a good long-term fit for this team. It just didn't buy into Daryl Morey's philosophy for an effective analytics-based approach to basketball. And although at the conclusion of that Hawks-Sixers series, when the Philadelphia 76ers were sent home surprisingly by the Atlanta Hawks, Doc Rivers initially came out and said that he doesn't know if Ben Simmons is a championship-winning point guard.
Yeah, David, I don't know that question or the answer to that right now. So I don't know the answer to that.
Eventually, afterwards, he pivoted and said that the Philadelphia 76ers were committed to helping Ben Simmons in any way, shape, or form, especially when it comes to his jump shot and especially when it comes to free throw shooting. Now, according to Jake Fisher, who is a NBA insider from Bleacher Report, so far I love this insider because he's given me really legitimate news so far. Ben Simmons has been ghosting the Philadelphia 76ers the entire offseason thus far. And according to Jake Fisher, this is how the quote goes. I'm not going to write this in the story, but I'll tell this to you guys and you guys can do what you want with it. This was during a podcast appearance. They haven't been able to really even get in touch with Ben Simmons since the season ended. Like, there was an intent to have a workout plan or whatever, like in any offseason. That's always kind of been the case. That the Sixers haven't been able to align with a development plan for Ben Simmons. That's kind of what Yaron Weitzman wrote at Fox Sports in that big story. It just just doesn't sound like there's ever been movement to come together on the same page to do that, and it hasn't really worked this summer either. I think that's not something that's an encouraging sign for him being in Philadelphia in the future. Now, I'm gonna be honest, this type of reporting could be skewed towards one side or the other. For all you know, Ben Simmons might be in the gym and he might have a relationship with the Philadelphia 76ers, but the Sixers may even want to further rationalize trading him, so they may have put this story out there. But I really think the likelihood of that is maybe slim, and I think it's more likely that Ben Simmons is just salty and maybe just doesn't want to talk to the Philadelphia 76ers because there's an understanding that he might be traded this offseason. You can tell me which side that you believe is more likely over there, because the Philadelphia 76ers have been doing a decent amount of shopping for Ben Simmons, and it hasn't necessarily been a gigantic secret. In the very beginning, the closest that the Philadelphia 76ers got to trading Ben Simmons was in a deal with the Indiana Pacers that would include Malcolm Brogdon and a first-round pick, and the Sixers turned that down and said, no, we want at least an all-star in return. And get this, the Philadelphia 76ers actually approached a team in regards to trading for Ben Simmons. So teams aren't necessarily coming to the Sixers for Ben Simmons. The Sixers are trying to approach other teams to get rid of Ben Simmons. And I'm going to be honest, I really think the Philadelphia 76ers might be overvaluing Ben Simmons, because when you hear this trade that they tried to make with the Toronto Raptors, I'm sure a part of you might vomit in your mouth, because I personally thought this was ridiculous. So according to Matt Moore of the Action Network, and you could do with this what you want, multiple sources confirmed Sunday that the Toronto Raptors have emerged as a team with significant interest in Ben Simmons. One source close to talks said that discussions have not been substantial as of yet. Multiple sources, including those close to talks, said a proposed framework including Raptors guards Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, and the 4th overall pick in Thursday's draft for Ben Simmons was rejected by the Toronto Raptors. Now, look, I wanted to tell you guys before we jump into this analysis that, for all you know, this could be just the initial offer. You typically, whenever you enter a negotiation, you give a really high number and then you eventually settle in the middle. So I'll tell you why I believe this. Kyle Lowry is said to be interested in the Philadelphia 76ers. That would be more of a sign and trade. Fred VanVleet and OG Anunoby, I do think having OG Anunoby in the deal is more than fair. I think having Fred VanVleet in this deal and the 4th overall pick is a little bit excessive, especially when you consider that you're not necessarily trading a man that's at his peak value. Ben Simmons got absolutely exposed in the NBA playoffs this past year, and I'm not saying it's too late for him, because of course he did just turn 25 years old. He's about 2 years away from his prime, but at the same time, I could understand a team not having tremendous confidence in a player that's literally put up identical statistics throughout his career, that's literally had the same exact issues throughout his entire career, and has yet to even attempt to fix it. So if I'm the Toronto Raptors, yeah, I'm definitely turning down this trade, especially considering the fact that I don't think Pascal Siakam and Ben Simmons on a basketball court together would really make a lot of sense. I also wouldn't want to give up the 4th overall pick in this year's NBA draft, because for all you know, your point guard of the future might be Jalen Suggs, who might be available with the 4th overall pick in this year's NBA draft. So I could 100% understand why the Toronto Raptors turned down this trade, but I also do think that the Philadelphia 76ers are kind of overvaluing Ben Simmons. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this rumor, and what do you think would have been a fair return for Ben Simmons? I'd like to hear what you have to say in the comment section down below. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.